So in this video I want to talk about the LangChain's chain component. So in the last video where we talked about LangChain's input output module, there we briefly touched about the chain component of LangChain, where we kind of created a LLM chain using LLM and a prompt. So we combined those two things and created a LLM chain, and which enables us to just to pass the prompt and it will give you the output. Right, so here these are like few of the groundwork which we have done so many times, but the different part here is I am creating this LLM using the PaLM2 Google PaLM from LangChain itself, and it is much more easier to set up this using the PaLM2 API key. Instead, what we the way we set up in the last video was a bit complex. So if you take care of and use it the LangChain's component, the setting of the PaLM2 is much more easier in this way. So first I'm just passing up toy prompt and checking if my LLM is working or not. So I'm passing a prompt as who won the last football World Cup, and it's giving you an answer that the winner was France, right? Okay, so now let's talk about what is this simple sequential chain. So here what I am doing is I am creating, at first I am asking in a prompt template like which country got independence, right? So if I just draw and try to explain you, so this is my first prompt, and this prompt is getting passed to my first LLM call, which is I will mention as LLM1. Then it's giving you an output of country. So you see which country got the independence in year. So here the input variable is year, and based on that it's telling you the country name, and that country variable is being used as an input variable to the second prompt, right? So here using this prompt template I am passing this template, and also the mentioning that country is as the input variable. So this country will come up here and it will act as an input variable to the second chain, right, or the second prompt. And then I am adding a new LLM call, which is LLM2, and then I am passing the country, and we are getting a output using this second LLM chain, right? So this is the chain 2 which we are calling as. So this is, you can mention this is your chain 2 and this is your chain 1, right? So and we are finally getting the output. So in this way you can like use different components of LLM and then chain together using this chain component of LangChain, right? So in the end we are kind of creating a complete chain, and just using this simple sequential chain I am mentioning what are the chains, that is like chain 1 and chain 2. Then I am mentioning verbose equals to true just to track the output and how the output is flowing from one chain to another. So first of all we are passing the year to this complete chain dot run. Then I'm mentioning what is the year, 1947, and with that it tells you that the year is India, right? And with that it also tells you what are the past historical events. So my second template was please let me know after independence 5 historical event of that country. So based on India it kinds of tells you the 5 historical events after independence, right? So it first tells you that in 1947 India got free from British Empire. Then 1950 the constitution was formed. Then 62 India fought a war with China. Then 1971 India kind of helped to get independence of Bangladesh, and in the 1991 it talks about the liberalization in the field of economy, right? So all this are kind of as an output from the model based on the independence here, and post independence what are the key events that happened, that is also we are getting, right? Then we are trying out another year which is 1971, and it tells you like the first it tells you the year, the country is Bangladesh. Then it tells you what are the major historical events which happened for Bangladesh after independence, right? So then we are using this sequential chain, and this sequential chain we are again going back to our favorite the mobile review data set, and we are picking up a review which is like this review which talks about some SD card issues and related to the phone. Then I'm creating a template. So that template one I'm asking LLM to do to identify the key issues given in the mobile review, right? So I am creating that first, that template one, and using that template one I'm creating prompt one and chain one, right? So I'm mentioning my input variable as review, right? And the output key you also need to mention in case of sequential chain. So here the output key is issues and the input variable was review. So if I try to draw it again here, so this is my chain one. Here the input variable is review and it's creating an output which is we are mentioning the output key as issues, and that issues is getting passed to the second chain which is chain 2. And in the chain 2 what I am asking is write a constructive steps needs to be taken by the manufacturing company based on the issues. So based on the issues I am asking LLM to give me an action plan which the company needs to follow to resolve that issue. And finally we are getting an output which is mentioning here is final actions, right? So this is the output which we are getting and I'm mentioning as final action. So this is how the flow looks like. So we pass the review to one and LLM call, then we get the major issues associated with the review, and based on those issues we are getting the final action plan which the companies needs to take to resolve those issues, right? Now let's take an example and see how it looks like. Then we are creating a sequential chain where we are mentioning the chains are chain 1 and chain 2. Also we are mentioning the input variable is review and the output variables are issues and final actions. So here using this sequential chain you will get two output which is like issues and final actions, and individually you can access the output by using these keys, right? So if you see, if I call this sequential chain and pass the review, then we are getting the output and this is the whole output, and you can access each of these elements like the issues and the final actions. So the issues are like SD card slot does not open up when I try to access it in file management. Then also there is an issue related to SD card which does not show up in the computer. And if you see, the outputs are quite good, right, for the final action. So for each of these two issues it specifically gives you the instructions or the action plan, like shut down your computer, unplug your computer from computer, then wait for a few seconds, then plug in the power cable into your computer. So all these resolutions are also coming up for each of these two issues, right? So SD card does not show up on the computer. It also gives you certain step-by-step process through which this outputs which the LLM or the company can use this LLM output to pass back to the user, and they can ask to follow these steps to resolve the issue. So this is quite fascinating, which I found out using sequential chain, which you can do. So the last thing which I wanted to talk about in this video was transform chain, right? So in the transform chain, what we can do is you can create few data pre-processing type of thing, and that data pre-processing will go inside a Python function, and inside your LLM chain you can mention that as a one of the call, and at first it will call that Python function and it will get an output, and then it will pass that output to the next LLM call, right? So the one thing you need to keep in mind here, the inputs and outputs both are should be in the form of dictionary, right? So if you see, to work with the transform chain, your input also has to be a dictionary and output also you need to send in the dictionary format. So I'm creating a dictionary with an key of output, and then I am getting the output and sending. So the two operations which I am doing here is, first I am converting all the text to a lowercase, then I am replacing the exclamation marks with space, or and also the question mark with space, right? So all this we are replacing, and then we are kind of finally generating an output in the form of a dictionary, right? So after that, what we are doing is we are just testing this out. So you can see the output here does not all the text are in lowercase, and also we do not have any exclamation mark, also we do not have any question mark, right? So this is just a test of that function. So you can import this from LangChain.chains, import transform chain. Then you mention the input variables and the output variables, and also the Python function. So my Python function was processing, so that I am mentioning here transform equals to processing. Then I am running that transform chain just to check how the output looks like, right? So then I am creating a prompt template where I am mentioning write a one-liner summary of the given mobile review. So here the output which we are getting from this transform chain, that we are using as an input to this prompt, right? So you'll see I'm creating at first I'm creating a prompt template, then the LLM chain, and in the end I'm creating a sequential chain where we are using the transform chain and also the summary chain, right? So this summary chain which I am creating here, and also the transform previously created transform chain, I am passing as the two chains in this simple sequential chain. So simple sequential chain is kind of a wrapper of my transform chain and the summary chain, and then we are getting the final output, right? So you can see like this is how the it looks like. So first it's converting the text to lowercase, and it's doing the other pre-processing work, and then it's kind of creating an output which is SD card slot is not working, right? And this is the result of our final chain output, right? So this is very useful, this chain concept in LangChain. And if you want to make complex LangChain or LLM powered applications, you can think of using this chain component of LangChain. So I hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe and share this content with friends and colleagues. Yeah, thank you all. See you in the next video.